I think we're doing this live. Sick of doing this live.
I said, hey, yo.
This one might need to be, I don't know your name, but excuse me, miss. Saw you from across the room. And I'm ring it, and I got your attention. You're making me want to say, yo.
I missed
That's
that.
the best we got for you after the after that game that we just saw, ladies and gentlemen. Tell me, fellas, did you see it? It was about 5 minutes ago.
Wow.
When I seen one of the worst games that a youngin's ever seen before, and I was like, no.
Yo.
It is your boy Pat the Designer back at it again, joined by the Breeze Squad. You know, Jay Crit, like, what the heck? We got AD to my left, Stefan the Don, our resident Heat fan in the building, and of course, in Indiana, Petty Casanova, the man P Kid himself. Boys, other than you. Other than you.
Don't.
Because he's too hyped over here.
It's just.
What did y'all see, man? What did y'all see from this game? Let's start off with you kids, since you're a man on a mission. What'd you see in this game that really set the Bulls behind the 8-ball?
Man, listen. I saw that set us behind the ball. Okay, you threw me for a curve right there. All right, wait a second.
And as soon as I said it, he shook.
All right. Turnovers, and lots of them. And lots of them early. You know, we ended the game with 16 turnovers, which is around our average per game. But we started off with like 10 before halftime.
Yeah.
6 to 7 in the first quarter. When you start a game off like that, you really, it puts you behind 8-ball, clearly, right?
Yep.
And so for those, hey, listen, 17 already in the post game. Listen, hey, Jay Crit, thank you for hey, Jay Crit is definitely the fam. Didn't watch it, but listen to us call it. Man, listen, all love, bro. We appreciate you. Trust me. When this is all said and done, we definitely inviting you out because I thought you was a further away, but I heard you in the city. So hey, listen, we linking. All y'all that stay down, Matty Matt, all that, got to shout out the chat just because I don't get a chance to do so. 27 in, but listen, rolling back into the question. Outside of that, man, listen, we actually we did shoot pretty well going into the fourth quarter. Now, honestly, we ended the game shooting 37% from the field, which no team that shoots that poorly really comes out with a win. But for the most part, you heard us call it out quarter after quarter. We were shooting better than the Heat. Then all of a sudden, Gordon Dragic just goes off. But at the end of the day, we were leading them in every category at one point, except for turnovers. And now, if you look at it now, that's not the case.
Mm-hmm.
They beat us in steals, obviously. They obviously kept their turnovers down. They killed us in points in the paint. At one point, we led them in points in the paint. Killed us on the well, realistically, we still shot better from 3, but they hit 12 or 35. We hit 15 for 38. It's negligible. We're close, you know. Right. But they shot 46% from the field collectively, while we dropped to 37. And so in those two categories, you see that shift there. And we got to see it. The foul calls, losing our temper and stuff like that. All of that took a turn. And it's like it's really interesting how, you know, something as simple as just smart basketball play, just protecting the ball at certain times and just certain key moments like that tempo gap, I really felt changed the momentum of the game. I don't know why, but it just felt like after that point, the team didn't play the same.
I don't know, because I mean, you took a lead after that. That wasn't the point where you took you did take a 68-67 lead, but I mean, it
like trickled down.
I could see it, but to me, it's this is the weird part, and I'll ask you, Ringo, just because you're kind of sitting on the other side of it. Being the Heat fan in the room, you watch the games with us, but for the most part, you're watching with the eye of somebody who's on the other side. I mean, when you're watching this team, is it not like you saw Jimmy Butler literally dominate cross-court passes for the Bulls, and they continued to make them? Like, is there logic in this system that they're running, or is that just a lack of point guard play?
Honestly, I just feel like it's a lack of point guard play. When you and I'll say this, and like you said, you've known it because Jimmy's play here. Jimmy is known for feasting in the passing lane, and he's also gotten good to the point where he's also touched other areas of the game when he hasn't been shooting well. I think I don't got the percentages on me, but how many free throws did he shoot? This
today,
game? I know it had to be in the double digits almost, but if at some point it's just like I don't know how much.
He shot 12 free throws.
Huh?
He shot 12 free throws.
Okay, 12 free throws. At some point,
made 10.
We can't keep saying, Billy, this has to be on the players because it's like you know the scouting report. I understand that it's a back-to-back.
Yeah. But
you know that more than likely the Heat are gonna do one or two things: play the passing lane and play zone, which is basically what we did, and you guys didn't excel or just to any of that.
Yeah.
To any of it. And what was working, you guys went away from. I mean, it's just I like I said, I wouldn't say it's on the lack of point guard play. That's really knowing your personnel. To me, to be honest.
Yeah, I think the interesting thing, and AD, you let me know how you feel about it. The interesting thing to me about what we saw tonight is that it's what we've seen the Bulls struggle with. This isn't new. You know what I'm saying? The turnovers, now we can blame the refs, but the ref, let's be real, the refs called it on both sides evenly. Horribly. The refs were terrible for both sides, both teams. But they called it both sides pretty evenly. But the point guard play, I'm sorry, not the point guard play, the turnovers, well, you can throw the point guard play in there because Kobe White played pretty terribly. But it's the same issues that keep popping their heads back up, and then a game later, it'll seem like they fixed it. And then 2 games later, we're right back in the same position. Do you think that there's something that's just recurring that is something that can be fixed, or is it just we don't have the personnel that can fix it?
It's mad weird. It's like I said, it's a culmination. I joked about it before, but seriously, they find success and then immediately go away from said success.
Yeah,
like it has culminated itself from throughout the season. It proliferates throughout the games that they play. It always seems to happen. We live and die by every 3. Even if it's not, like, if it's working, like, we live with it, like, it's like, oh, okay, that's the success we're having now. But what happens when we get cold? And then in this game, like, there's no diversity in the shots that we are taking. Missing bunnies at the bucket, throwing up threes. Some, I will give them credit, are high percentage, but they're missing them. And they tend to be compounded by bad plays on the defensive end. Okay, cool, you didn't get a call, but now we're going to come down and either not play defense, let our player roll to the basket, or come back on the offensive end and shoot a bad shot.
Yeah.
So there always seems to be a big inconsistency. Okay, cool. Even I'm pretty sure Billy has, okay, cool, they probably look good in practice, so they probably have built some habits in practice, but then it comes down to a game.
I mean, as bad, let's be real. And I think this is a testament to Billy Donovan, even though they're losing these games coming out now on a 2-game losing streak coming out of the All-Star break. Let's be real, though. They are leaps and bounds better than what we saw last season. Leaps and bounds better than what we saw last season. But there's only so far coaching can take you. At a certain point, there has to be talent. And there just seems like there is a lack of talent. Like Ish Smith pops off for a 30-point game here and there. You know what I'm saying? Name me a guy. I was going to say Jeremy Grant, but Jeremy Grant actually been hooping in every sense of the word. But these are NBA players. These are the best players in the world. Even if they're the worst players in this league, they're still, although Denzel, I got $5 buckets for you. Jackson Hayes can pop up. You know what I'm saying? Like, these guys can look amazing for a night. But I'm not going to look at this team or look at anybody on this team outside of Zach LaVine, maybe Lowry. Lowry's kind of having his best season that he's had since he's been here, been healthy. But I'm not going to look at this team and say that there is consistent talent on this team. You can't. Denzel was to the point where me and P Kid almost was trying to give him a little praise. The second we did that, he dropped a rap album, and all of a sudden he got nothing left now. You put all your energy into that album, now you got nothing left for the career that you was talking about on the album. And the album, whack. Anyway, so to me, it's just like you go down the entire roster. Let's go down the roster real quick, just based on what they did tonight. And listen, this is the kind of production versus the New Orleans Pelicans is different. Versus the Sacramento Kings is different. Versus the Charlotte Hornets is different. But when you're playing a playoff team, which Miami has been rolling as a playoff team, when you're getting production from your starting center, 4 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 of 5 shooting. Larry Markkinen had a decent game, 20 and 6, 8 of 18, got himself back into it with shooting horribly, 3 for 10.
If I can pause you just for a second, Larry Markkinen didn't have a decent game. He had a good game. It didn't show up at the time.
Larry had a good second half.
He had a good game. I say this: when you're averaging you're coming off an injury, you're 2 games off injury, and you're still averaging your season's best, basically, right? He's averaging 20 for the season, contributing on the rebounds and getting a few dimes in there as well, moving better, stuff like that. He looked better. Like, if we have to evaluate his play today, yeah, we would want him to shoot better. He shot 8 of 11 against Philly. We would want him to shoot like that today. He shot 8 of 18. But guess what? I like him taking those 18 shots. I like him getting in the rhythm. Him in a rhythm, to me, is more impactful than Kobe White in the rhythm. When he's on the floor.
Kobe, somebody you got to bring up. You're starting
on the floor, right? So, and again, this is not a Kobe White hate, but just understand that his name comes up because we always looked at him as like, all right, maybe he's the second guy. And he's just a guy on the team. He's not the second guy. Yeah. Right? I don't want him as the second guy. I want him off my bench. And that's not hate on him and stuff like that. Eventually he'll develop into that, but until he makes better decisions with the basketball, especially in key moments, no, he's a guy for the second unit. He's a guy, he's a microwave off my bench. Let him do what he does. Come in and score. When you let him just do that, that's fine. But Laurie can play within the system and still give me 20. Kobe can't.
Right.
That's the difference. He can give me 20 within the system without him being the main contributor. I can't discredit that. And he could give me some boards. Okay, I just want him on the floor more. So I have to give credit where credit is due. It may seem like it may be counterintuitive for what we want to do because we took an L, but he had a good game coming off of injury.
But that's the thing. I can say you had a good second half, and I'm cool with that because that's the half I need you to have a good half. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't say he had a good game because in the beginning, I mean, he was 3 for 10 ending the first. That's not good. Was he aggressive? Yeah, but he was missing. That's not good. Now he's coming back off of injury for sure, but that's not good. But in the second half, to finish at 8 of 18, that means you went 5 for 8 in the second half. I can't be mad at that because that's the half I need you to be good in. I'm fine with that. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the half of basketball I need you to be good in when we're in these moments. I'm fine with that. But for there to be one, I ain't gonna throw Thad Young in there because Thad did what he had to do. Got a double out of Thad. For there to be 1, 2, 3, 4 of your main rotation guys that play over 20 minutes. And none of them had over 10 points, and 3 of them are your starters, that's a lack of talent. That's a deficiency in talent. And listen, P. Will is one of those guys. We can give him a break, but he gave us nothing.
He was injured, though. He only played 16 minutes. 21.
21.
Can I say this?
He played 20. Okay, yeah, he played 20. But, well, I don't know how many he played in the second half. Go ahead, Ringo.
So 2 points. I'm with you on that P. Will point because, like I said, last night I watched the game. They were switching everything, and his matchup was literally Seth Curry, and Seth was hurt that entire second quarter, going in a half for the rest of the game, and he did not attack once.
Yeah.
My other point was, and this is not Kobe hate. To Buffer P. Kid's point, did Dragic start or did he come off the bench?
I think he came off the bench. Didn't he? Came off the bench. Yeah.
Right? What was his main? What was his main thing? He scored tonight.
Yeah.
When they needed him to.
Yeah.
He was that second option. So I feel like tonight was yet again another lesson about, okay, like Dragic ain't really a true point, but when he needed to get in there and score to stop the bleeding, that I needed somebody to pick up the scoring, because you got to remember, going into the fourth quarter, it was a 2-point game.
Yeah.
Dragic showed what he had to do. It's like every night he's getting these lessons from Chris Paul, Trae Young. It was a lot of lessons that he's been getting all season, and it still has not registered.
Yeah.
With him, and I don't know what the problem is, and it makes it worse. Especially when Billy's pulling you off of the floor because of your defense already.
True. And to me, I think this is the thing. Billy's going to have to work with the guys that he has throughout this season. It seems like Billy's not really talking about much. And I don't want y'all to think, I brought P. Will up. I need more out of P. Will. I'm not expecting P. Will to give me 20, though. I'm just not. He's never been a scorer in his life. For him to come in and in his first season, we're saying, give me 25 and 10. I'm not expecting that out of you. But we brought you in here as a defender against LeBron, against Kawhi, against guys like that. You do a decent job. I need that energy against dudes that you should be dominating. When you've Tobias Harris standing across from you, well, Tobias Harris is a pretty good player. But
we want you to
he ain't LeBron. He ain't, and there's gonna be growth, like Matt Nagy said. You can't be relying on a 19-year-old to be a number 2. I'm not relying on that. But if you're out there for 20, 25 minutes, I need to see more than 3.
Wait, why can't a 19-year-old be the number 2?
He can be, but I think that we're asking P. Will. We're literally this is what the Bulls have done with everybody almost on this team except Lowry. We got pieces in here that we're asking to change their life. We're asking Kobe White to be a point guard. Kobe White's not a point guard. We're asking P. Will to be an aggressive scorer. P. Will has never been an aggressive scorer. Now, can he grow into that? Yeah, we drafted P. Will off of the intangibles based on defense and length. And when he actually attacks the bucket, he scores at a decent low clip. But that's a mentality you got to change. You got to break an entire mentality, which is the theme of this Bulls team.
And let's keep in mind something, though. We were already a forward-heavy team. So we're asking a 19-year-old to come in and fill a role that we already had players for, that we were eventually planning to move out.
Hey, look, and they still on their way out.
And they still on their way out. And so realistically, I don't put anything on him, because no matter what he performed like today, and if you all I've been watching the rookie race. I've been watching it closely because I wanted to make sure that I could sit here with confidence and say, yeah, I like Pat. I like Pat. I like P. Will and what he does. He's still a top 5 rookie.
Fact.
He's still top 5 in the draft.
Don't let 2 bad games all of a sudden everybody in the chat ready to turn on him.
No. For what we needed, for what he brings,
right.
I don't believe there's another rookie in that draft class that could have done it the same way. Maybe Ant-Man, right? But like we weren't in a position to get him. For who we were in a position to get, he's done well, right? And every rookie is having a very up and down. Not every rookie has the keys to the city like LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball is the starting point guard. It's basically starting almost. Like he's giving the keys to that. When you give a player that type of confidence, you can expect good things to happen. We haven't really got there yet. And he's still competing against some vets. But let's be real clear. when Otto's not there, when maybe Thad gets moved, maybe he's not. When Garrett is gone, you're going to see P. Will in those positions doing well. So I ride with that. I do feel like a point guard is something we definitely needed though, and you see that more and more because Zach is not. How do I put this? Zach isn't like James Harden. James Harden will find and create an offense and a dish. Zach isn't that. He can kind of run the offense, but that's not his strong suit. His strong suit is scoring. I can't hear you. You saying something, Pat? I can't hear you. I don't know if you're saying something or not, but I'm gonna keep it going. In the meantime, yeah, Zach isn't that. So because of that, I think that we needed a point guard. I think we needed someone to come in and take that load off of Zach and let Zach do what he does. That's almost like asking Bradley Beal to run the point guard position. Bradley Beal can't do that. Bradley Beal is not a point guard, but he'll give me 30 every night, right? And so that's a spot Zach is in. We need someone to help facilitate that rock for him, help set everyone else up. But nah, that's the only thing. Let me know if I got to keep going. It seems like we have some technical difficulties. Yep. But with that being said, though, we talked about what we saw today. We know what we came up missing with. Let's talk about the schedule that we have and why this game was so important. To be quite honest with you, we have the third hardest schedule in the Eastern Conference, and we've already dropped 2 games. What do you all feel in the chat? Let me know. Let me feed off you a little bit about
check.
Yeah, we back there. I see.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
All right. I don't know what happened there. That was weird. AD, we blame AD for that.
It's all good. It's all good.
Sorry.
You ain't gonna let it be no dead silence.
I think when you think about needing a point guard, we wanted. Let's be real. We impatient. We're sick of losing. We've been losing for how many years? We last time we was in the playoffs, Jimmy Butler and D Wade was here. 2018? 17?
2017, yeah.
2017? It's been a while. We're sick of losing.
5 years.
And before before that it was injury ridden D Rose, and then you go through all of that. You finally give Jimmy Butler the keys to the city, blah blah blah. We're sick of losing. That doesn't mean that all of a sudden we should make the dumb decision and rush what we're trying to build. And I think that if we watch this team, now granted, we've lost 2 games in a row, everybody's pissed off, right? Everybody's sick of the Bulls. These are 2 games we should have been competitive in. But this team is changing. The organization is changing. And you had to know what you had. Yeah. And so with that, look, we got a veteran point guard in here in Sato that everybody's like, all right, well, if Kobe's going to learn how to play the point guard position from a facilitating standpoint, he should be able to learn from him. We're going to bring Garrett Temple in, somebody else who handles the ball very much. He should be able to learn from a veteran. That didn't pan out. It didn't pan out. But you had to know what you had in a 20-year-old point guard who was drafted as a point guard. Now, we all believe Kobe's the 2. We all believe Kobe shouldn't be on the floor with Zach on this show anyway. Bring him off the bench. But I think the difference in what we have, and maybe it is that we're being impatient. Maybe it is that we're sick of waiting. But like you said with the Miami Heat, Eric Spoelstra saw that Tyler Hero was not a point guard and realized we've got to train this guy to be a 2.
When we,
I challenge the notion that we're impatient collectively because we want to win as much as we're impatient because we know what's at stake if we don't start winning, what's going to happen to our star talent. Let's be honest, we haven't had this caliber of star on our team to say since 2016 or so, right? And I would say now Zach is better than what Jimmy Butler was at that time. Obviously different kind of player, but I would say
different
that
team too. Different team.
Okay.
You were asking that team to do
team,
different things.
So I'm not saying that he's better overall, but I'm just saying like at the stages they were at that particular age, I would say that Zach is better. Coming into it. And so we know what happens if we don't put talent around our star player.
Right.
And the league is different now. The league is totally different. It is not about, he's only 26, he has time. That don't mean that's what he's thinking. Because listen, there's a lot of people who are young who force themselves to winning teams right now. Not everybody in this league is in their 33, 34 saying, "Oh, I need to win now." Like Kyrie is still very young for the most part. Devin Booker was on the move if they didn't get him something. This is
why I say that though. Just to respond to that. We're begging for Lonzo Ball and Andre Drummond. At this point, we have people begging on video, every video, that the Bulls should trade for Andre Drummond and Lonzo Ball. Let me ask y'all this. So you're going to give up draft picks for them. Probably give up a couple players that we don't want anyway. 5 years down the road, are Lonzo Ball and Andre Drummond winning an NBA championship with Zach LaVine?
No.
Be realistic about it. Be real. Is it a competitive team? Is that a top 4 team in the Eastern Conference?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So.
It is.
You have to also look. I'm not to discredit what you're saying, but you have to also look at what will attract other people to want to come play with you, right? That's the league we're in. People want to play with other good people. This is the buddy system almost. I liken it to that. It's the buddy system almost. Oh, y'all building something good over there? Right, cool. Yeah, we're gonna roll over there. That's what we're dealing with right now. So if you have a team that has the core of someone who can contend, then yeah, you're going to attract some older veterans who were studs back in the day who might want to chase a ring with you and stuff like that. I mean, essentially, that's what you got in the Nets anyway. Essentially, that's what you got with the Clippers. That's what you have at the league all the way around. So yeah, if you get Drummond and you get Lonzo Ball and it's working, yeah, and they're contending, which we all agree that they would. They attract other players to come to want to take less money to come play with you because you have a chance. So once you get in that echelon of being considered elite, yeah, the door is open for you to make other moves, and you can't discredit that. You can't discredit that at all.
They definitely open for you, but are you going to get players that are going to be? Essentially, you're saying that on that team, Andre Drummond, P. Will, and Zach LaVine become superstar level players, because that's what you have to contend with. Because older veterans are going to be okay. Older veterans are nice. What Brian gets, or what or Blake Griffin.
Brian got Jared Dudley. You can't say.
I'm just saying Blake Griffin going to Brooklyn. That's nice. He might have finessed us. I saw him dunking a little bit. I was like, Blake did finesse the league. He James Harden does. But to me, that's now. You know what I'm saying? Like that looks good now. That's a top 14. We had that. You know what the equivalent to Lonzo Ball. And I'm not saying I don't think those guys. I would like to get those guys in free agency. I'm not giving up picks for them. I'm not giving up assets for them. You know what Lonzo Ball, Andre Drummond, and Zach LaVine is put together? Derrick Rose, Carlos Boozer, and Joakim Noah.
No. In fact, that's disrespectful.
But
Andre Drummond right now is on the top 10 all time on rebounds per game.
Mm-hmm. Joakim Noah was Defensive Player of the Year, and Derrick Rose was MVP.
Joakim Noah doesn't hold a candle to what Drummond can do.
Bro,
Joakim Noah was
defensive player in the game of rebounding. Joakim Noah not even the same league.
Joakim Noah was getting triple doubles.
Triple singles? I don't know what the heck are you talking about,
bro. Joakim, what are you talking about?
This is a clip. This is no first clip. This is our first clip. This your first clip. I want it to be known because he was getting triple doubles.
Joakim Noah
Not triple
was
singles.
literally
This was definitely your first clip.
His jersey will be in the Ring of Fire.
probably. Joakim Noah literally was like fourth in MVP
Joakim
voting.
Noah was averaging double doubles. They had one of the best teams. Listen, I'm not saying he wasn't a beast. What I'm saying is that if I put Andre Drummond next to Joakim Noah in Joakim Noah's prime, I'm still picking Drummond.
Stop.
Okay, that's
I mean,
that's
what-
your pick.
So right now,
I'm
you can't say, Andre
I'm
Drummond
not gonna
like
say
Joakim
that.
Noah.
Is it-
Nah, let's
I'll
not.
take
But this is the thing.
Let's not cap like that because
This
Andre
is-
Drummond can do
this
way
is-
more than
This is
Joakim
what I'm
could.
saying. This
Always
is what I'm
has
saying.
been able to.
But this is what I'm saying about it.
I'm taking Joakim.
That team, it don't matter who they are. That team for that era
Same type.
is not getting over the hump, just like
This
Lonzo, Zach, and Drummond for this era. Unless somebody else pans into a superstar. Now, if you get them us and P. Will all of a sudden really does turn into Kawhi Leonard, cool.
I mean,
Because you know why? You got Zach LaVine and Patrick Williams. If
You
that
know what
happens-
Drummond brings to this Bull team right now, since we doing this? Drummond right now brings the point totals of Lauri Markkanen on a consistent basis with the rebound totals of both Thad Young and Lauri Markkanen on a consistent basis in the same game.
You paying Andre Drummond a super max? Because that's definitely what he's looking for next year.
Listen, I will pay Andre Drummond. For his position, he's worth max money. You can't statistically ignore the fact that for what he does, what he puts out there, and what he's accomplished, he puts out max money production. So if that's the market, you can't hate on him for that being the market.
Okay.
That's like in football. Dak Prescott got that big paycheck, but that's the market.
So you paying him and you paying Zach. That's your money. Does that get you a championship?
You said I think it puts me in contention. Yes, it does.
It puts you in the top four. It puts you in the top four in the East.
It puts me in the top four in the East, most definitely. Him. Yeah. If I can keep Lauri, yeah. If you say, him with Lonzo, absolutely. It puts me in the top four in the East. As long as I'm in the top four, I can make moves.
Let's get back to this Bulls team because I definitely disagree with that. But we'll be on that for an hour.
It's not much to debate. If I'm in the top four in the East, I'm a contending team. I have a fighting chance.
Hey, listen,
to make some good moves.
You can be a contending team. You know who else was a contending team? The Atlanta Hawks versus Miami. They weren't. You know who else is a contending team? The Chicago Bulls versus Miami. They weren't. Those series ended 4-1, 4-2. That's not contending. That
when
means
was
you
the
had
last
a
time
good
the
season
Chicago
when you got a
Bulls
long way and got
in that level since the Bulls haven't been in a contending team since Rose?
Yes, but contending one.
So at this point, I would rather us go into a
Conference
contending team than us debating as to how far down the bottom in the East we're going to be.
What are we looking?
I'm gonna pay him his max money
to make moves
so I
to
can get
contend,
there.
or are we looking to make moves
Can-
to actually be
That.
like to actually move all the way up to a very much
Championship.
dominant championship team?
And I want to say this too before y'all continue. Everybody talking about getting Andre Drummond and Lonzo Ball now. That's getting you a first round exit.
Right now, yes.
And I don't think
I can't say that because everybody's like 3 games away. The Bulls with Lonzo Ball and Andre Drummond probably.
How
get
many
before.
players in the league are going to give you 18 and
but
14 on a consistent basis?
he don't give you no blocks though.
Who?
Ringo. How many players right now are going to give you 18
what I'm
and
saying
14?
is this. What I'm saying is this. You're looking at borderline first round exit, maybe second round exit at best, and then you gotta pay them.
That's the part.
How many players are going to give you
so
18 and 14 right
point,
now?
Nah, I'm saying we're not talking right now.
We talking about the future.
How many
talking
players
about
are
the
going to give you
future.
18 and 14 in the next 3-4 years?
Hold on.
Can I interject
Hold
this?
on.
Then? Go ahead. Finish.
You talking 18 and 14? He can give me 23 and 28. That just upgrades his value to the point where I still have to pay him.
Okay, you have to pay for talent.
Hassan gave me a literal 1 season where this man averaged.
Well, Drummond been doing this.
Right, but I'm saying.
How old is he? Who?
Drummond young. Drummond 27. 27.
He's been averaging
he young.
17 and 15 for most of his career.
Yeah, he young.
The better Andre Drummond plays, the more you're going to have to pay him.
Right.
So, if let's just say Pete,
then you got to cut the check.
Let's just say hypothetically P. Will don't pan out. You got Zach LaVine, Andre Drummond. Don't space the floor. You just getting bored.
Well, you can't build your team thinking that though. You can't build your team. You can't build your team thinking that your number 4 pick in the draft isn't going to pan out.
From here on out, I see everything going like this. We are going to play the rest of the season as is, and AK is going to reshuffle that lineup how he sees fit. I don't see us trying to trade to get a player to play for that 8th spot just to pick him up. And let me rephrase that. We're not going to trade away anything. Next year, we're just going to, during the offseason, we're going to make people offers. If they want to come in and buy in, they can. If not, he just going to build it how you going to build it. But I don't see
no one has answered
somebody we can get for money in the offseason.
How many players right now are going to give me a consistent
kid? But you're not answering the question either.
In 14, you can't answer a question with a question. I asked the question first.
But kid, you
in today's league are going to do that?
But you still haven't answered the question. Does that win you a championship? Does Andre Drummond win you a championship? Kevin Durant, James Harden,
Andre Drummond. The acquisition of Andre Drummond. I'm answering your question. Let me answer your question. Acquisition of Andre Drummond with the Zach LaVine absolutely is a building piece in today's NBA to compete for. Hey, you can't say nothing else because it's a building piece. It's a building piece. You look at who we have to go up against.
Mm-hmm.
You have the Nets, who have the highest offensive rating ever in history of the NBA. You're not going to compete against that without making several moves. But you know what we can do? Because they don't have a great inside presence. Yep. We have a player who helps us compete. That acquisition allows us to now go from the bottom of the barrel, which we are, to now a elite team, top 4 to 5 seed.
Mm-hmm.
It gets me into that echelon of that caliber of teams. When you say, are we going to win a championship? You can't say that. That's actually stupid to go from one player to do that compared to what the whole league is doing and how they're stacking the deck. You can't say that. So, and you know that to be true. So you're going to have to make several moves on him to make that happen.
You're absolutely right.
And guess what? That. You're going to have to pay.
But what I am saying is when Andre comes in, which is the reason that Cleveland is getting rid of him, and he's asking for a $190 million contract, and we've already said if you're going to keep Zach LaVine around, you're going to have to pay him $220. Who you putting on the team?
Jonathan, I appreciate you. Thank you, sir. Crit, I appreciate you all. Thank you.
Can I say this?
If you're going to win in today's NBA, guess what? You're going to need players of that caliber. And guess what? The market dictates that you're going to have to find a way to pay them.
But the market is going the other direction.
That's the name of the game.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying.
Andre is one of the very few people who statistically, even on a bad team, has put up max money regardless. On his down season, he's a max player by today's market standard. Now, are you asking me if I want to pay him $220? Heck, I'm not going to pay. I wouldn't pay him $220 if I had a choice. But if that's what the market dictates and that's what he's worth and that's what he can get, I can't deny that man his money. But you have to pay you have to pay to play.
I just want to pose this question. What is a better gamble? Gambling on Andre Drummond or gambling on my man to come from Europe and he turns into that or better?
Gambling on Andre Drummond because he has proven success in the league with a historic, he's a top 10 all-time rebounder. His name is up there with the
What if we hit a lick on boy?
You already have boy. It don't matter.
No, but I'm saying
he's on the team.
What if he turns out to be that?
And listen, I've watched Marko Simonovic. Marko Simonovic, the second AK got here, I think he knew Larry wasn't it. Because Marko Simonovic is a 4.
He's a 4?
For sure. He get bodied too much. But before we, because we didn't win, we literally said we're not gonna do this, and we did it anyway. But I mean, listen, we'll agree.
89 people rocking with us. I appreciate you all.
I rock with it, man. I'm glad everybody's in the chat. If y'all in here, man, and y'all enjoying the content, like the video.
Appreciate you.
I really think we moving on, Ringo. I really think that. I really think that we gonna have to agree to disagree, because I don't believe that Andre Drummond gets you to a championship. I just don't. Unless somebody else. Now look, if P will pan out, then yeah, probably, because you got your 2 number 2s, but then you got to figure out how to pay him, which I'm fine with, because you can pay 3 Supermax players. But no, you can pay 2 and you can pay 1 a lot of money. But let me ask y'all. God dang it, let me move on.
My bad.
Because we'll be here all night arguing the same point for no reason. Let's get back to our current Bulls team, which is really, really struggling. Why are we off to this sluggish start, do y'all think?
Everybody was at Magic City.
Jesus. It was the wings, baby. I went for the wings.
I heard Follies reopened too. I don't know what to say. I heard Dirk sold out the concert down there.
Bro, you have to do that. We appreciate it, my man. Thank you so much.
You said what, bro?
Crit showing some love, man. We appreciate it. Thank you.
So much. Jay Crit, always with the big love.
Appreciate you, Crit.
Yeah, I mean, listen, and the problem is you're off to this slow start. Kid, the schedule don't get no easier.
It don't at all.
The schedule. What are the Bulls? They have the 3rd toughest schedule in the league.
3rd toughest.
Like wild.
And I hope don't nobody
6th toughest in the league, 3rd toughest in the East.
No mercy on them either. I hope nobody pulling no punches on them either.
You ain't got to worry about that.
That's what I'm saying. They gonna get tired. They gonna get tired of losing. They gonna get tired.
But again, it comes back to, it don't matter if you're tired of losing. If you ain't got the talent to win, you ain't gonna win.
Hold on. So if we can, I'm not discrediting the because we often have the conversation about talent.
Yeah.
But tonight we really saw the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde aspect to this team. When there's no turnovers, we can keep up with anybody.
Yeah.
And that's like the gut punch every time we watch this team. It's like, ooh, look at what they can do if insert excuse.
Yeah.
That's all day with this team.
And it usually got to do with somebody being healthy. If Wendell was healthy. If Larry was healthy.
Let's look at the next couple of games, since we're talking about the schedule. So the next game we have is the Raptors. Now, I think it's a winnable game, realistically, because for some odd reason there's still rumors about Kyle Lowry being on the move, and so who knows what that is doing. Any
plausible reports? Any credible reports, I should say.
The only thing I saw realistically, besides it being
Twitter.
Twitter. Yeah, well.
And what you said to Ringo, any report that starts with Twitter is saying it has no validity.
What's your boy say?
Who?
Your man said be in the Chessington.
Which one?
From Toronto.
Oh, you talking about Luka?
Yeah, Luka.
Luka's essentially talking about Kyle Lowry being on the move.
Oh, really?
He's as plugged in as anybody. We might have to get a little joint video for this Raptors game coming up. We'll see if we can get him on the show. Luka
After that, we got OKC coming back through.
I mean, listen, a game that, again, here's the thing. We don't know with this team. Tonight was a winnable game. Last night was a winnable game. We don't know with this team.
But that's always been our MO. We'll win. We'll win games we're not supposed to win.
Yeah.
Lose games we ain't supposed to lose, and still end up somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
You know.
The Oklahoma City Thunder are on a downturn right now. They're 11th in the West. They have a below 500 record. So, I mean, Yeah, right now, Shea Gilchrist-Alexander is doing 23 points a game with 6 assists, 5 rebounds. So I guess you could say that but they have really balanced scoring. I mean, Al Horford is putting in about 14 to 15 a game. George is showing up. They have some pretty balanced scoring as
To
far
me,
as
this is the crazy thing, right? Let me read the next 10 off to you. Raptors, Thunder, Spurs, Nuggets, Pistons, Jazz, Cavaliers, Spurs, Warriors, Suns.
Hey, didn't the Spurs drop their mans, right?
LaMarcus Aldridge,
you can't.
Yeah, but LA was barely playing.
But this is the thing, though.
He was barely playing, really?
This is the thing, though.
Man.
When you look at those next 10 games, Raptors, winnable. Thunder, winnable. Spurs, probably an L, but winnable. Not a guaranteed L. I don't think the Spurs are just a dominant team right now. They're trying to figure it out. Nuggets is probably an L. That's probably an L. But Pistons.
Spurs is actually a playoff team, dog.
Yeah, that's why.
What are they? 7 now? I'm not disrespecting Pop at all. Like I'm just saying, what are they now? They were 7 last I looked at them.
19 and 15.
No, I'm talking about where they at in the playoffs.
They're 7 seed.
Yeah, that's what I thought. They 7. That's why I said. But it's not an unbeatable team. It's a winnable game. But I mean, they're a playoff team. Right. Nuggets is probably an L. The Nuggets. Listen, I knew that Nuggets game was over when Jokic was dribbling up the court, went behind his back, between his legs, into the other hand, and threw a pass. I was just like, should nobody be doing this?
Wait,
but then Nuggets are 2, I think. But then 5 now. They 5 now.
5. Hey, but the Suns are the second in the West, bro.
Over your next 10 games, you've got 1, 2. Okay, let's say they're losing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 winnable games. Legitimate
winnable games.
Raptors, Thunder. I'll give the Bulls an L versus Spurs. L versus the Nuggets. Pistons is winnable. Jazz is probably an L. Cavs is winnable. I don't know if the Spurs beat them twice, but I'll take that. But Warriors is winnable and Suns is winnable.
I don't think we win against the Spurs, Warriors, and we definitely ain't winning against the Jazz.
Yeah, I know the Jazz. The Jazz is an L. That's what I said. But here's the thing: if you get one of those games versus those teams, like it's a 10-game run where literally, based on how this team is playing that day, based on how they come out in the beginning of the game, they're all winnable. Right. Like, it's crazy that we're here with this team. Like, it's a good point based on where we were last season, where it was like, well, let's look at the next 30 games. The Bulls might get 2 out of that. But it's still just like the inconsistencies of this team, the lack of talent in such key moments. I think these next 10, I mean, let's be real. When is the deadline? The 25th?
We got 2 weeks.
Yeah, the 25th is the deadline. So if between, so these are the games before that: Raptors, Thunder, Spurs, Nuggets, Pistons, Jazz, Cavs. Depending on how that trip goes, do you think we see movement?
I hope we do.
From AK.
I hope we do. And to be honest with you, and I'll say it again, I'm going to isolate the Garrett Temple trade rumor that I heard. Yeah. That there was some interest in him. I would absolutely be curious as to what I can get for him, because Garrett Temple has been a great pickup for us. Nice little spark. I'm not going to hate on his production. I'm not dissing him as a man or a player.
Yeah.
But for where we want to go ultimately as an organization, he ain't Goran. We saw what Goran does, and Goran does that on a consistent basis. Stephon can tell his truth. Goran can do, when you give Goran the ball, he can do that.
Only reason he's coming off the bench is because he's 35.
Yeah, but so is Garrett Temple.
Yeah.
Well,
so if Garrett Temple was 35, do you think that he's going to be on our roster when we finally make a championship run? I don't think so.
No, not at all. I figure if he did
early.
I figure if he didn't make a move, it means that he was probably trying to get draft picks or something out of it, and they were like, "Nah, we'll give you this other old player that you can't use."
Depending on what I can get for him, I'm trading Kobe.
bro. I'm sorry, but I'm sick of this. Like this. Me personally, I don't think a trade is gonna happen. Like if y'all come out and y'all lose the first 4 games, like the next 4 games that y'all talk about, it's not gonna be no movement. What for? What for?
You make a movement to get picks in here to improve your team. Because if you lose the next 4 games, that means you went on a 6-game losing streak.
I mean,
and you're already 4 under.
And you're already 4 under. That means you'll be 10 under 500, and it's the East, so there probably still would be a chance to make the playoffs, unfortunately. But I think that's the part that deceives us so much too. Dog, this Eastern Conference remind me of that early 2001 Eastern Conference when it was just like when you got AI competing in the finals with Dikembe Mutombo, and you just like, what is happening right now?
The only caveat to that is, well, for me, it reminds me of that, but only because of the injuries the Magic suffered, the late resurgence of the Wizards, the injuries that Pacers suffered, and they're actually rebounding because Karis LeVert is actually coming back. And so you have 2 teams that were bottom, like the Wizards were the worst team in the league. They've
Pacers
just
turned into Snellers early though.
They went on a run, so now they're right under us.
Yeah.
Right? And so let's be honest. If they get it together, do they beat us out for that playoff spot? Absolutely. If they get it together and they start clicking, we don't have the talent to keep up with their talent.
Yeah.
Right? The Pacers, if Karis LeVert comes in and he makes an impact, that team is already better than what they're playing. They really are. They were just depleted because of a couple of things. But Karis LeVert rolling that 15 to 20 points right there, they're a playoff team. No one can debate that. Yeah. The Hawks are the only anomaly there because we thought they'd be way better by now. But if they get it clicking, that's a playoff team.
What's their problem?
They have too much talent not to be a playoff team.
Trae Young got Lloyd Pierce fired, and now
well, I don't think Lloyd Pierce can coach either.
And then
I don't think he can coach either.
Now he trying to.
It's like he got him fired, yeah, but I don't think he can coach either.
He fired himself. That's what happened, right?
That man got himself fired, and Trey just helped him out the door.
So realistically, we're looking at the second half of the season with some teams that's trying to kick it into high gear. The only anomaly there is the Cavs and us.
Right.
We got to be honest about ourselves. If we don't make a move, then we commit to the rebuild. Or we commit to allowing AK a season to do what he needs to do to get us into a competitive shape. That's fine. Just don't expect a deep run.
Right.
That's just it.
Are we shooting for a playoff spot?
I don't believe
we're 11 seed right now.
Well into existence.
This is the thing. The players are shooting for the playoffs. The Billy Donovan is shooting for the playoffs. Those are the people I want shooting for the playoffs.
What?
AK is literally just sitting in his office like, let me see what we got.
I'm trying to. I really want them just to, like I said, I want them to sit tight. See if you can get there with what you got now, cool. Let whoever's contracts expire and then reshuffle during the offseason.
Facts.
Hey,
yo, real quick. We got 99 people in here. Can we get them likes up real quick, man? We appreciate y'all, man. We got 99 in the chat. Let's get them likes up, man.
Shout out to the 99 in the
app. You watching a vid. The like button is literally like right there somewhere, bro. Just click it for me.
Hey, did you just hit him with the? Did you just hit him with the?
Play us a couple times. They don't send out our notifications on time. But these likes get up. Guess what? We can keep doing this. Like it for me. It for me. I appreciate you.
The best part is you went ITT Tech on him. That mug hit him with the look at you. You sitting on the couch watching us do the show, enjoying this great content. You could be liking the video right now.
Where's little Romeo when you need him?
Go ahead with your point though, Ringo.
I just feel like everybody just needs to stand pat.
Talking to the mic, bro. Talking to the mic.
Yeah, I just feel like everybody needs to stand back. And then just wait. I would see what we got in Seminovich and possibly like if you try to make a run, I would see what John Collins got. Like that. That's my thing. Cause He young. He's a really good player for Atlanta.
Yeah,
he's a really good player for Atlanta.
Here's a question I got for AD. If you could pull it up, because I can't seem to find it. Who are going to be free agents after this season for us not to be making any moves? Right? Like who
all the people that we keep saying the Bulls should trade for.
I know at the time.
Literally everybody in the chat keeps saying the Bulls should trade for is a free agent next season.
2021 NBA free agents will be Chris Paul, Kawhi Leonard, Mike Conley, Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, Otto Porter, Andre Drummond, Drew Holiday, LaMarcus Aldridge, Victor Oladipo, Goran Dragic, Tim Hardaway Jr., Dennis Schroeder, Evan Fournier, Gorgie Dang, Danny Green, Andre Gorgie Dieng.
Gorgie Dieng, yeah.
I almost hop skipped and jumped over his name.
That's okay. hey, look, I've seen this game. You can hop jump over it.
Kelly Oubre Jr., James Johnson, Cody Zeller, Will Barton, J.J. Redick. Who just these?
Now I'll tell you one thing though.
Justice Winslow. His mama didn't spell it right.
I appreciate you. I appreciate that list right there. I say this. You know most likely Chris Paul's not leaving the Suns. They're the second in the West right now. Like they're gonna figure something
probably
out.
Not. Yeah, probably not.
They're gonna figure something out. He got that team rolling. You don't break up that chemistry. So like some major big names are in situations where they're having some success. You can leave us out of it. But what I will say is the only reason why I would be pursuing a trade now is to avoid having too many suitors later. See if I can make a move to lock up somebody before then. That's the only reason why I would entertain it.
But even in that situation, even in that situation,
it's a risk. It's a risk either way.
But this is the thing. But
I can wait till the offseason and get nobody.
You can. Well, you're not gonna get nobody. I don't think. I don't think the Bulls will come up with nobody. But
there's a lot of names on here.
It's possible though, depending on who else are buying.
It's more possible. But the thing to me is you're trading away stuff you want to build your team with.
Potentially.
Are they gonna pay your boy?
Potentially. More than half this roster we willing to part with.
But how do you build championship teams? Go back to every team that's got multiple championships in short spans.
My bad.
Minus the Miami Heat is Thanos.
That's his dog.
Minus the Miami Heat. Minus
the Miami Heat because they put that team together.
Minus the Lakers.
No, the Lakers. Well, I guess they didn't draft Kobe or Shaq. Yeah, they traded for both of them. They traded for both of them. But Golden State.
We're talking about AD. That was a forced trade, and they won a chip the first year.
You talk about who?
AD.
No. I said minus the Lakers.
Minus the Lakers
because they
Miami.
And minus any team that LeBron went to and then reshaped.
Minus Golden State because Golden State went after KD before he was even a free agent.
Yeah, no, Golden State won a championship before they went after KD.
Minus the Raptors? Because
because
Leonard was already going to the Raptors before.
Most of that team was drafted though. And then you got your star. Like teams win through the draft though.
I like Will Barton from Denver.
Teams are winning through the trade now. Teams are winning through let's restructure. I'm gonna force my way out.
Teams win if KD or LeBron are traded. But
they're the catalyst of it. But let's look at James Harden forcing his way to the Nets. Let's look at John Wall not wanting to be in his situation. Let's look at Oladipo not wanting to be in his situation. The league is changing.
But the Nets were already championship contenders.
They're locked to be in the finals now.
What, bro?
And James Harden still forced himself there. James Harden literally showed up. I'm not gonna play and forced himself to the Nets.
Who's trying to get DeMar? Who is rumored to get DeMar?
Nobody right now.
Nobody.
Ain't nobody really trading for him. I don't even think he's on the trade block. They in the playoffs.
You know what team that's been relying on the draft to get to the finals? Dallas.
Not really. They traded for KP
and Dennis Smith.
Yeah, they drafted Dennis Smith.
They did. They
drafted Dennis Smith. They drafted Luka.
Didn't they get somebody from New York?
They made a trade for. Oh, they made a trade for KP.
Over 100 in the chat.
So yeah, you gotta do some willing and dealing and take a risk. You're not gonna sit there. The Nuggets. I give you the Nuggets. The Nuggets drafted.
I'm fine with that, but what I'm saying is, your teams that are consistently successful usually build through the draft. Now, if you trade for LeBron, that's different. You're gonna be successful.
That ain't happening in 12 years, bro.
What are you?
The Golden State Warriors just won a championship with a team they completely drafted until they traded for KD.
The Golden State Warriors
drafted.
The Golden State, Steph Curry has 1 ring by himself with the team that he drafted, and 2 rings with a man that made them complete monsters that they had to go get.
And guess what? They wasn't finna stop winning.
No, they weren't.
Without KD, were they gonna stop going to the NBA finals?
I think you're missing the point. They had to acquire a KD to keep winning.
No, they didn't have to.
At that point,
they didn't have to acquire a KD to keep winning.
The league has changed now. Then it has changed. We saw more.
So you're saying teams don't win. So you're saying teams don't win by drafting good players?
I'm not saying that they don't. I'm saying that teams are now.
So you're saying teams don't win championships without drafting good
players more than ever before, and you can't ignore that. It happened 3 times this season alone.
They are trading for good players, but that team hasn't won a championship yet. So let's see if they do. But
we are not in championship contention. We need to stop. We need to stop saying, "Does this person get me to the get me a ring?" No. Does he?
No. We don't need to stop saying that. What is the point of playing sports?
He's literally.
It's stepping stones. You have to build up to that point. You can't say, "Oh no."
Let me ask this. Can we flip it like this? What team? Next year,
this man just said we got to stop talking about winning championship. I'm Jay Willing this.
All right, just walk off. Because it's.
Who do we need to be better?
I'm gonna make one move and get to the finals.
It's
only so many players that can help me do that.
Hold on. I got this one. Yeah, I make one move to get to the finals. Your whole argument was make one move to get to the finals.
No, it wasn't. My whole argument was
the Brooklyn Nets traded for Kevin Durant, and all of a sudden they go into the finals.
My whole argument was the league has changed, and people want to play with other people to help them contend for a ring. But we are too many steps for us to get there. It's not. It's going to take several moves. My whole argument is make one solid move first, generate the interest, and build upon it. And right now, you have to pay to play to make that type of move. That's just the nature of the game right now. There's no other way to do it. You can sit there and say, yeah, let's draft. And if I draft someone right now, I'm still 2-3 years out with a star who wants to win now.
Please.
Or win soon. That's apples and oranges, bro. We're not even having the same conversation.
Bro.
You have it, bro. You got it.
The Warriors were 73-9, and they went to the finals before they acquired KD. They went to the finals. They were not going to stop winning.
Ringo,
you already had the greatest.
I've already won
the most efficient offense in the NBA.
I can sit here and make a career just destroy you.
I'm going now. Okay. What I'm going to do is attack your other point. Because you're talking about the Andre Drummond point, which has really been killing me for like the last 20 minutes. Let's look at the Milwaukee Bucks real quick. Since you're talking about they had to make a move.
Let's talk about that.
You had to re-sign Giannis. Yes.
Thank you, Jay Crit. Talk about the team that they're talking about.
You re-sign Giannis,
and I've been talking about how the league has changed.
Let him make his point. Let him make his point.
You re-sign Giannis for over 200 and some million because that was the big thing. We had to re-sign Giannis. You gave Chris Middleton, who is a efficient 20-point per game scorer, who to this point has not gotten you over the hump. Then after that, you turn around and Giannis tells you he needs a point guard. So you go out and get Drew Holiday, which by league standards, everybody says that he's nice. But guess what? You went out and made that move. You know what the problem is now? He's been subpar this year. Not only that, but now you have to pay him. So then he's gonna walk out. So then after that, you have nobody at point, which makes that a more deficient team than
what is
they
the
already
point that
were.
you're trying to get to as to how that pertains to what I'm talking about and us acquiring?
Because they made a move early before they even paid him.
Oh,
he's saying they mortgaged it all just to keep Giannis, and now they got no future.
No. Here's the problem, and here's what you keep confused. I'm gonna help you out real quick. Giannis is a generational talent. He put up Wilt numbers, back-to-back MVP. We don't have a back-to-back MVP on our team. If you have a Giannis on your team, you do take that risk because you're a small market and you need that type of player. The one thing that you keep forgetting is that the NBA is also a business. You know what Giannis does for the Bucks? He keeps their name in people's mouths. You know what that does for that organization? He gets them money above anything else. If you pay him $200 million, guess what the now generate? They generate billions of dollars off of that player and people wanting to watch that player. Let's not get it confused. You're having one conversation that's about player acquisition and stuff like that. And the Bucks have to think about acquisition, player, what it does for the organization as a small franchise. The Chicago Bulls are not a small city, a small market. So we're not having the same conversation. That's a dumb analogy. Don't make me turn up, bro.
No, I really don't believe it is because yes, he generates money, but you're not winning. The point is winning. We can't stop talking about championships, Max. At the end of the day, you play to win the game.
Of someone else to make a dumb point. Because at the end of the day, if Andre Drummond is available right now, why is every contending team trying to get him if he's not important?
Listen, because they're a contending team.
18 and 14. What are you talking about?
Because they're a contending team.
No. Because
Andre Drummond can put you over the hump.
He's a talent worth having. Name the players right now that give me 18 and 14.
All right. I get your point. He's a talent worth having. But
he's a talent worth paying. Name a big man that gives me 18 and 14.
So
I need the step after that. So after we get Andre, what is the step after that? That's what.
Guess what? You can't make that decision, nor can you play armchair GM and say, "Oh no, if we get this guy."
But that's how GMs make moves, kid.
Listen, hold on.
That's how GMs make moves.
You have to make the move to keep the talent around your star player. You know what that does for someone who needs help, like a Zach? Oh, my organization is behind me after they fumbled the bag for 3 years. You can sit there and say, well, no, it wasn't AK and stuff like that. It's the Bulls organization with the same
playing checkers.
I'm not trying to hear that.
You playing checkers. This is chess, baby.
We can take this to a different sport. The Texans hired a whole different staff, but Deshaun Watson wanted to leave.
No.
You don't believe that's not going to happen here?
That's not the same thing. That's not the same thing at all. Because if you want to make that analogy, the regime we had before was the Texans right now.
Oh,
the regime we had before.
Let this regime play out, right? Let's see what happens.
But here's the thing, kid. You playing checkers. You saying make one move and don't think about the next one. That's not how that works.
Okay.
That's not how sports work.
That's
not how building teams work.
Do we need a big man?
Yes, we need a big man.
Is Andre Drummond potentially available?
Yes, Andre Drummond is a good big man.
If Andre Drummond is potentially
Andre Drummond worth $220 million.
Very few big men are doing. Why should we not go after?
Can we ask this?
I love how he don't answer the question.
Is Andre Drummond worth
$220 in the same room who can't get their heads together to answer this simple question? Why wouldn't I
there?
He could play. Steven Adams. He could play. He could play in Billy's system. Absolutely.
I'm saying,
but this is the thing.
The way that they are playing, it looks
I'm gonna go get Steven Adams.
You said no. He said, "Do he?" He said, "He said, do he fit the system?" I said, "Yeah, he fit the system." Steven Adams fit the system.
But I'm saying it's not gonna make a difference if Andre comes in and plays it well, and then the other 4 players don't know how to play Billy's system. That's what I'm saying. We still got an issue, even if Zach and Drummond play the best. 3 other people don't know what they're doing. That is
Here's the problem with all of these arguments right now. we have three major issues on our team. One is inside defense, rebounding, and a point guard, right? So why wouldn't I pay one player who gives me my rebounding and gives me better defense while also trying to find someone as a bridge or stopgap for my point
guard? It's not like you paying this man $100 million for 5 years. He's a max player, but he's a max player that don't get you nowhere.
They're going to have to try out just to pay this man.
He's a max player. You literally said they don't get you to a championship. You said Zach and Drummond don't get you to a championship. You said they get you to 5.
I think
Zach getting paid. Zach's getting paid.
Listen, I use Ringo's example. The Bucks paid all that money. They ain't the best in the East.
The Bucks pay stupid players.
They ain't pay stupid players. The Bucks are a top 4 in the East, top 6 in the league.
The Bucks paid Chris Middleton.
Let's keep it a buck.
No.
Let's keep it a buck with the Bucks. They're not going to make that next step because Giannis hasn't improved.
No.
Where has he improved?
That's a different argument.
That is true, but that's a different argument.
It's a different argument.
That is true, but that's a different argument.
That's a different argument.
Hey, P-Kid, let me just ask you this. Are the Bucks winning the chip? No. I mean, are the Bucks winning a championship this year? Yes or no?
The Nets are winning the chip this year.
Okay. Stop right there. So then after that, you have to turn around and you did all of this to acquire Drew Holiday. Now, are you re-signing?
Legitimately, if you look at the Drew Holiday trade, he was traded for like 6 first-round picks.
6 first-round. So you paying him? You paying him?
And the Nets gonna probably lose.
Listen, I'm not going to wager. You're comparing the acquisition of Drew Holiday to the analogy of us acquiring Andre Drummond. That's not the same thing, bro.
But what he's saying is you're going out, because you're not talking about signing him. You talk about trading for him. What he's saying is what he's saying
because
is
we have so many pieces that we're willing to part with anyway.
Right. Facts. But
so why wouldn't I take the risk if we were willing to part with most of our roster? Why would I not take the risk? Because if he walks, I still have the cap space.
Because you got the cap space.
If he walks, I still have the cap space, and I still have my star player.
But
what am I really giving up?
You're not.
So what? What you think the trade is?
I just don't think Drummond not worth it. He's not worth it.
Drummond's definitely not worth that money, but that's a different story. Because if Rudy Gobert is worth $200 million, anybody can be worth anything.
I like DeMar, Jonathan. I'm actually in on DeMar because I think sure enough having another like 2 or 3 can give me consistent scoring does a lot more, and then going to get a point guard. I think we could like salvage that inside presence situation because I see DeMar and Zach working out well.
I mean,
but I'm also big on. I'm answering something in the chat. I'm sorry.
But this is what I'm saying. Why are you giving stuff up? Because they not gonna want players unless you sending picks.
Yeah, we better off just letting them walk away, bro.
Why wouldn't you? Why are you giving something up for a player that don't want to be there? That's stupid. For a player that's not going to a team that he's gonna sign with.
We sitting tight. Ain't no trade gonna be made.
That's stupid. It's the same argument with the Bears. We got to go get these mugs. Why? He's leaving. He don't want to be there.
If I can have
Lonzo denied, if y'all want Lonzo, if Lonzo denied his option or whatever extension they offered him, he don't want to be there.
Or he's open to other suitors.
Like
that's
you
fair.
can. You can get him. And I don't think he's worth that money. But if he's worth that money, teams don't want anything that's on this team. We've had that discussion already. Well, nobody wants Otto Porter unless you're trying to unload some cap space. Nobody wants Lowry because he's injury prone. Nobody wants Wendell because Wendell is a scrub.
LA gonna let Schroeder go. Well, Schroeder's up this year too, and they're gonna pick up Lowry. Like Lowry gonna go to the Lakers.
Yeah, that's fine. But guess what? Any team Lowry go to, they're not going to trade for Lowry this season. You know why?
They're gonna let him get
the same reason we shouldn't trade for Drummond, because he's going to be a free agent.
I get what you're saying, and I understand that concept very well, which is why this was always predicated on the if. My thing is, if I don't have too many players that I can have access to that gives me that level of production in this league. And since I'm already willing to part with most of my roster, I would take the risk.
But why are you? But kid, why are you willing? Why are you willing to part with most of the roster, though, kid?
Because they suck.
So why would somebody want them?
We can. AK can kick the tires.
I get.
What is too big of an ask for
this is the thing. I get. But unless you're a team in cap hell, you don't want him.
I get that.
But if I'm telling you I'm gonna give you a 18-4 player that everybody in the NBA believes is a max NBA player, why in the world would I want Otto Porter Jr. and Lauri Markkanen?
Expiring contracts.
But but again, that's if you're a team in cap hell. Again, agreed. But that's if you're a team in cap hell, right?
If you're being honest, I would give up picks for Drummond and try to make it. I'm gonna be honest,
and he might not even sign.
I don't know.
I would take the gamble.
I don't know if AK want to start off like that. I don't know if he want to start off like that. If he had been here for 3 years, maybe.
I told you what I would be willing to do for that level of player. And the chance I'm willing to take.
He can't afford to gamble like that early in this market with us coming away from who we.
Because the one thing I don't want to do is compete with those big markets.
No. Wait.
Actually, honestly, I don't want to compete with the Lakers.
If it's your,
I want to have a leg up. I want to have that opportunity.
I'm gonna say this, man. I'm done after this. I feel like honestly,
no, he ain't done. He ain't done.
I cooked you dead. I don't know why you still here.
I'm just saying, if you was running the Bulls right now, I feel like you would honestly be the worst GM. All for the fact. You're sitting here literally saying, "Oh yeah, we're gonna get him now because I don't want any suitors." You pay him his 200 or let's just go 150, and he flops, and you overplay.
Won't flop.
But you overpaid, and he's not panning out like he needs to.
He's been consistent for how long?
You will be sitting there stuck.
Who's flopping?
Drummond been
numbers up for how long?
His entire career.
No.
Drummond has been
came into the NBA 20.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, in Detroit, he came into the NBA 20. I'm not saying. I don't want y'all to think I'm saying Drummond is a good player. My thing is,
I get what you're saying. But I just want to just for kicks and giggles. What you say? Who is going to flop? I just want to hear that one more time.
I'm saying if he flops, you overpaid, and the Bulls are not doing what you thought they would.
Well, this is the thing.
If the Bulls don't do what I thought they would do, then I'm pretty sure that there's other factors that come into that. The Bucks is a great example for that because hey, listen,
Roy said hashtag Josh Smith.
Hey, listen, the Bucks made great moves, but guess what? If Giannis doesn't develop a jump shot, then they're not going to go anywhere.
I honestly feel like the only way we would get Andre Drummond is through a trade because what is the selling point?
But
for suitors for the Bulls?
It's different in Zach LaVine's an all-star. The same reason people wanted to come play with Derrick Rose. Like LeBron wanted to come play with Derrick Rose. They just couldn't work out the money. But
I don't think we have enough. Selling point.
This is the thing we also got to remember too.
Drummond is having a down year. He's putting up a double-double.
Hey, look. But this is the thing we got to remember
17
too.
and 14.
The cap's going the other way. So
It's going down.
No matter, of course it is. It's COVID.
Oh, the cap's going down. Okay.
So no matter what the market may dictate, players aren't going to make as much next season.
They should,
and they probably won't.
So is it a buyer's market or seller's market?
It depends on who you are. If you the player, you selling.
If you're the Bulls, is it a buyer's or seller's market?
If you're to me, anytime you give up capital for a player that you can throw money at and acquire in free agency is stupid to me.
So
to me, I would say for the Bulls, for the Bulls to be sellers. Yeah, most valuable thing. The most valuable thing the Bulls have right now is that issue.
And what picks do we have?
They got all our picks.
I mean, but what number?
Depends on where they finish the season out at.
Who?
I mean, considering where they're going to finish,
You
you got to think about it like this. I mean, seriously, you got to think about it like this. Anybody you watch college basketball?
Yeah.
I've been watching Illinois get busy.
Yeah.
Who would you draft?
I mean, listen.
College is
this is the thing.
Hey, no,
lit right now.
No,
Spitfire. Who would you draft?
This is the caveat I would say to that.
College is a lick.
It really depends because the Lakers had 2 years ago? It really depends on this draft system.
College is a lick right now. You can pick up. It's a lot of sneaky picks because they barely played.
Who would you draft?
I would defer to you. I'm gonna be real with you. Other than Illinois and Cade Cunningham, I don't really know nobody else. Who else?
Off the top of your head right now, even in the chat. Who would you draft?
Kaminga, he playing the G League right now for the.
Oh yeah. But he's our. How does that work?
I don't know how the G League works.
I think he just plays in the G League and then he goes to get drafted.
Yeah, because
he has eligibility after a year, something like that. Yeah,
so he can enter the draft out of the G League.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not bad.
So everyone's
he was the number 1 player in the country. That's not bad.
So Kaminga,
give me 3 names, and we'll do a quick exercise. I won't take us through the whole thing because I know we've been going for a while. You give me 3 people you would draft, 3 people you would go after, and tell me if I somehow find a way to draft those players that I make it to the finals with them within the next 3-4 years.
Jonathan Kaminga, Cade Cunningham, and
talking to you, Mike.
Jonathan Kaminga, Cade Cunningham, and probably the guy from Duke that just left, the kid from Duke.
Jalen Johnson. Jalen Johnson.
So if I draft one of them, I'm going to make it to the finals in the next 3 years.
What positions are those?
No, well,
what positions do they play?
You don't know.
What positions they play? That's a great question.
Well, Cade Cunningham is a point guard, so he would help.
He would definitely help. Okay, I'm in. Okay, I'm in. Okay.
Cade Cunningham is a point guard, so he would help.
We need
Ray, I can see why you say it's not really a real question, but we're gonna take it anyway. It is a lot of variables, right?
Essentially, he said, what rookie could you draft that you making it to the finals with in the next 3 years?
So here's my defense of.
I mean, it's just
because get rid of some picks for a player that shows up one of my most deficient areas on my team.
Oh, he's saying what the pick's gonna do,
but it's not like
what the pick's gonna do. You don't know.
Not like.
The same question mark about what if it doesn't work out is the same question mark about me betting on the draft. But you know what will happen if I bet on the draft? I will definitively lose the interest of my star player. Tell me I'm lying.
No, depends on what player you get.
No, because
injecting youth in the team is not going to hurt.
Bro, it's not.
I'm willing to give you. I'm willing to put up a stack on anybody. If we bet on the draft right now, the way you want to, that we don't make it the next 3 years and Zach walks, I'm willing to put a stack on it.
Ain't nowhere for him to go.
And you know I got it.
Ain't nowhere for him to go.
Like it won't matter if you trade away the pick.
No, bet me.
It won't matter if you trade away the pick.
You have to draft based on at that point,
and you don't know where anybody's picking yet.
Because I mean,
what incentive do we have to keep Zach if we don't make any major moves?
This is the thing. Yeah, if you get a star in the draft, why wouldn't Zach LaVine stay?
All right, that's my bedtime.
We can't
break the bank. I'm gonna get a star in the draft.
This is a fact.
I'm gonna get a star in the draft.
We cannot afford.
I'm going to allow that star to help me compete against teams that have 8 to 10 year vets who've stacked the deck to help me compete, I got you.
You said what?
That makes a lot of sense.
I don't even know what you just said.
I'm gonna get 8 to 10 year vets to help me stack the deck.
No, but you know what happens when you get.
Can we highlight that? Can we highlight Joey's comment? Just highlight Joey's comment.
Oh, wrong one.
What's it?
Tell me that's tell me that's not true.
Zach on what?
Zach doesn't fit the timeline of the rebuild. It's the NBA, kid. One player changes everything.
Bro, Jimmy Butler
losing one player does too.
Huh?
Losing one player does too.
Yeah, but you know what you know what happens if all of a sudden you go into the draft and you get Luka, you go into the draft and you get
to buffer your argument.
This is the thing. It's the NBA. You're acting like one player doesn't change everything. It's not football. I don't need 43 guys to be good.
My argument is
I need one.
Who is going to propel the Bulls to either beat the Warriors in the next couple of years, the Lakers amongst them, or the Nets? If the one person ain't finna do that. Clay back, the Warriors are back in contention. The Lakers are always going to be in contention.
That's wrong.
And the Nets are always going to be in contention.
That's wrong. This is the NBA. One player absolutely does that.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying with those three teams,
who is the one player?
You have to find
team.
Who is the one?
But the players that you're saying,
I keep hearing a lot of don't do this, don't do that. Oh, I wouldn't do that. So Tyler, what? Who is the one?
I told you what I would do. You build your team through the draft.
We got Tyler,
just like you did in 1980 and 1990. You build your team through the draft.
Did you say 1980 and 1990?
Yeah, because that's when Jordan was drafted.
All right, brother. Go ahead and call it a night. You said 1990.
Listen, it's one player.
90.
Look,
the window to
I'm just saying this about one player.
It doesn't even matter. I don't have to say it. The chat says it.
The window to win is not right now.
Disagreeing with you right now.
Where? Look, do you think I care that 100 people disagree with me?
I know you don't.
This is the thing. It's the NBA. If you draft one good player, the Dallas Mavericks literally were like, our franchise is about to die because the best player we have is going to go away. They had one bad season, and all of a sudden Luka Doncic shows up, and it's like, wow, we're title contenders if we put one more piece around this guy.
Man, that's crazy you say that because I agree with you. The funny thing is I can look at a bunch of teams that drafted really well that didn't go anywhere. Luka ain't won nothing. And guess what? They're looking at making different trades around him. Look at the rumor wheel around the Mavs.
But you got to have one.
Look at Trae Young and what happened there.
Well, I don't.
He got him fired.
Look at. Oh, listen. No. That's a great point.
I'm gonna be real with you. Trae Young ain't it. Trae Young is nice. He's a good scorer. He's a great scorer, but he ain't leading you to a championship.
Right now, as it stands, some of the best people in the drafts, they're still one piece away. Even those teams that already had a star that drafted well are still one piece away.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's how the league has changed. You know how many rookies or how many sophomores average 28, 9, and 9 in their second year? I mean, how many sophomores come in doing that? Luka's putting up LeBron James numbers.
He is.
How many times does that happen?
He is.
And
it's happened.
Luka was playing against grown men since this dude was 12.
Yeah, but he still did it. He still did it.
Waste away in Dallas. That's just
it happens once.
But this the thing.
This stars.
Let me tell you something.
You need above average role players
and
a good coach to compete in today's NBA.
Mm-hmm. And guess what's
going
to happen?
In the process of building that, you have to satisfy the appetite of your star player to get there.
And if you don't find a LeBron, and if you don't find a Kevin Durant, and if you don't find a Steph Curry, it don't matter. It don't matter. It's the NBA. It don't matter. You have to find those players. Who's been winning the last 10 years?
That's a poor example because the people who've been winning the last 10 years surrounded them around some of the talent that we've been talking about tonight.
Mm-hmm.
They put themselves around people who has a nice offensive and defensive output and allowed themselves to be the stars on those teams.
But it don't matter. If you ain't got a number one superstar, it don't matter. It's the NBA. The best team in the NBA wins. When has the number 5 seed won an NBA championship? It's the NBA.
The Houston Rockets.
In 94.
94.
And guess what? Who was the best player in the league at that time?
The center on their team.
Hakeem Olajuwon. So when you got the best player in the NBA, guess what tends to happen? You win NBA championships. When the Lakers won, who was the best player in the NBA? When Miami won, who was the best player in the NBA? You have to find those guys. Now, you have to have building blocks around those guys. Absolutely. I'm not discrediting that.
That's the point I was making, that if you get a star caliber player, you can attract other stars to compete against other stars. But you have to acquire the star to put next to your star. You have to make one move first. And guess what? To say, oh, I'm going to get my star in the draft, it's just as 50-50 as me trying to trade for one right now. So guess what? We're in the same boat.
We're going out of here. We out of here. We're going to keep arguing all night about this. If y'all don't know, this is literally how we talk every single night.
The fact that they must really enjoy us debating this because this is the most they've stuck around for a while.
Man, they in here. I mean, we've been in here an hour and a half. We got 91. Ringo can't believe what P Kid is saying. But at the same time, I've seen Ringo build a team in Madden. But I'm not just playing. First round exits. But first round exits.
Solid.
I beat you. I beat you though. I beat you though.
Solid.
But hey yo, I just want y'all to know, everybody that's talking spicy like they gonna run this fade, come run this fade. No, I see a couple people. Who was that? Marcos. Hey, look, it's something we don't do up in here. We don't call people outside their name. We gonna be respectful up in this mug. I'll be respectful to you. You be respectful to me. Unless you gonna come run this fade, I'll give you my address if you need it, my boy. And so, on that note.
Hey, YBS, this is the best game ever.
Hands.
And feet.
Hands.
And feet.
Hands.
And feet.
Hey, what Chan say? I keep them hands ready in case them bangers jam.
I know that bang.
Oh, wow, bro.
That's why my hands stay ready.
Don't think I'm not from Chicago for 1 second.
Hey, look. I love y'all, man. I love y'all, but we not gonna be up in here disrespecting people, calling people outside their name. That's one thing we not gonna do. But no, it's all love, man. If you in live and you enjoyed the content, man, please subscribe to the page. Please like the video because we do talk Chicago sports weekly, and we don't want you to miss a thing. So make sure that y'all hit that bell. It is your boy Pat the Designer, Brody Bro, AD, Stefan the Dime. We got P Kid out in Indiana, the Indianimal himself, Petty Casanova. Hey, Chicago, y'all stay safe out here. Peace.